Well, as we move on to our next extraordinary impact maker, this incredible woman that I'm about to bring on to this global stage has inspired many, many thousands of small business owners, large business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, everything in between. If you've got an idea, this lady is the one that can help to take you to exactly where you want to go. Now, I met this phenomenal woman, this change maker who is making such great change in other people's lives through speaking. We've been speaking on the same stages for a while now and never really had the chance to connect until I was able to bring her onto our stage at one of our events recently. And our members absolutely loved her. I know you're going to love her too. Let's get her up onto the stage. Jacqueline, come on up. Hello, my darling.
Hello, Sammy. Lovely to be here with you.
It is so good to see you, and thank you for making the time, because I know you're whizzing all of these catalysts. You're so busy catalyzing, if that's a word, trying to get you all together for one day.
It's a pleasure, Sammy. It really is. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, and what a pleasure this whole process has been. I mean, you jumped in literally. We were like, okay, so we've got 8 days. I think by the time you started writing, we had maybe 6. And it was like, you know what? People need this. We've got to get it done.
Yeah, and you know what? It's you make that decision and you go for it.
Yeah.
I remember when you first put this question to me, in my head, I'd been thinking, I'm not taking on anything else before the end of the year. And then this opportunity came along. And in my true style, I said, will I regret it if I don't? And the answer was yes. So I went for it.
Such a good question.
I live my life by that.
Yeah. And actually, you've put that into your chapter. That's threaded through your chapter quite a bit. Of course, I'm so privileged and honored that I get to be a part of the co-creation of the chapters, and I get to read them before anybody else does. And so I just absolutely loved your chapter, love your story. Guys and girls, I'm just going to pop the link on there for those of you that are joining us now. The book launches today. So if you want to go to that link that's on the screen right now, you can purchase your book. Go grab a couple, grab one for you and a couple for friends. We've got a special Kindle deal if you want to buy it for Kindle, but the paperback is also available today. So, but make sure you go through the link that is on the screen, because you can go straight to Amazon if you like, but you're going to miss out on all the bonuses and all the good shizzle that we've got, that all of our authors have brought together to give you, to bring you, so that it helps you not only with the book as you read the book, but we want to leap out of the page into your life and support you in all the other ways that we can as well. So, Jackie, I loved your chapter. And one of the things I want to bounce from in your chapter, which is very much along the lines of what you were just talking about, is where you say here, it's so easy to talk yourself out of doing something you know you are being called by a higher power to do, because you think, this is too much. I'm not cut out for this. Jackie, you've done so many things in your life. You've worked with so many thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, purpose drivers, mission-driven people who want to do something bigger. They know that they're meant for more. Tell us about what is that thing that has us talking ourselves out of the things we know we're meant to do. What stops us?
It's almost, Sammy, like you know there's a greater calling. You know there's a bigger purpose. You know there's a bigger vision. You know there's something special you're born to do. But it's like sitting on the edge or standing on the edge of that mountain and not taking that leap. It's fear of the unknown for many people. They don't know quite what's ahead of them if they take this leap. They don't know how it's going to work out. And they start doubting themselves, unfortunately. And they start asking those disempowering questions. What if it doesn't work out? And I think that's a big one for many, many entrepreneurs. the entrepreneurs I've worked with many times, they've got these great ambitions, these great ideas, but there's this thing inside them holding them back. What if it doesn't work out? And sometimes they're on that edge of quitting. And I've often said, I'm not going to let you quit. I'm just not going to let you quit because you've got something special. We just need to harness it. We just need to ensure that you channel it in the right direction. And I've done that with many businesses who were on that brink of giving up, of quitting, of going slow. And now they've got a national business or an international business, which they wouldn't have had. And I mean, I can even think of some of my clients from 10 years ago, and it's like they've now got a business ready to sell, you know, and it's seeing that bigger vision and taking that leap of faith and going for it, doing it, do it.
And I think your question applies to it really well, doesn't it? Of will I regret it if I don't?
Yes, absolutely, it is. It is. And I ask myself this question so many times. When an opportunity comes my way, it's, will I regret it if I don't do this? And if the answers are resounding yes, then I go for it. I do it.
It goes the other way as well. Will I regret it if I do?
Yes, absolutely. They're definitely, that's a really good question to ask as well. Yes. And it's asking those questions. What will happen if I don't do it? What will happen if I do it?
Yeah.
And not procrastinating. You know, so many people procrastinate and delay their ideas, and you know, they could be sitting on it for 5 years sometimes, or even longer.
And then they regret not having done it sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. How many times have I sat with entrepreneurs and they said, oh, I wish I'd met you sooner.
I think there's a whole mindset, isn't there, around not only growing yourself, but growing your business. And I think when it comes to investing in things, it's also a very good question. You could use the same question when it comes to investing in something that you know you need to grow your business. We were having a conversation at one of our masterminds recently where one of the people that had a load of brochures, flyers done, and they were great, but there was one thing on them that had that been changed, it would have been even better. Yes. And they were saying, well, you know, I'll keep them and I'll use all of these up, and then I'll get them done again when I need to. And I think there's this element of, do you want to attract clients who say, well, you know, I would get something better, but I'll go with you instead. Yeah. The same energy applies. Like when you're putting that into your brochures, your leaflets, your website, your email marketing, your videos, it'll do is what you're going to attract if that's what you are using with yourself. But I also think there's, in the investment side of things, the question that you said there, it applies to that, because it's, you know, well, am I looking at what it's costing me to reprint these? Or am I looking at the cost of opportunities I'm going to lose if I don't reprint them?
It's the cost of not doing it can be greater than the cost of doing it.
Absolutely.
Always. And I think that, Sammy, when I talked at your event just a couple of weeks ago now, I believe, in that event, I talked about making those micro changes. And those micro changes that you make in your business can bring mega results. And that's the true scalability, those micro changes that bring those mega results, because the cost isn't parallel to the extra revenue that you can bring in. So therefore the profit is greater. And I think that's what have to ask yourself, what's the cost of not doing this?
Yeah.
It's greater than the cost of actually doing it.
For those of you that are listening or watching right now, I want you to just think of something that you've been thinking of investing in, or something that's been put in front of you as an opportunity, something that you've maybe been saying no to or thinking of saying no to. All the questions that Jackie's giving you right now are a great list of questions for you to ask yourself about that. Like, am I considering reinvesting in something? Well, what will it cost me not to reinvest? I think that there's so many things that are going through my mind right now. But I think the cost of opportunities, I can think of so many times now, like a little Rolodex in my mind of things that I so wish that I'd said yes to, that I didn't, or things that I said yes to that I wish I'd applied this principle to, that I would never have said yes to had I run them through this filter first. Can you think of any times that you can share where you made that mistake?
Oh, absolutely, Sammy. I when I was in the corporate world, which is a while ago now, I took the leap of faith. I think it's 18 years ago, in fact. But before that, I remember a particular time I was in Dubai on holiday, and I had a situation I wasn't sure what to do. And I'd got this personal development book, which had been on my shelf for a while, but I took it on holiday with me. And I read it from cover to cover. And it was like, oh my God, all the answers are in there. All the answers are in there. I know what choices to make now. I know what decisions I need to make. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I was still in the corporate world, and I was still in that mindset, Sammy, where, investing in myself was like, oh my God, I could have a lovely luxury holiday for that. When I did invest in myself and put that money into growing myself so I could help others to grow, I've been able to have those luxury holidays anyway.
Yeah, so, in abundance. Way more of them. When you like.
Absolutely. So, I wish I'd made that leap sooner than I did. Absolutely, I do, because my life has just changed completely since I took that leap.
It's amazing what can happen is that, on the other end of your yes or on the other end of your no. And, just like you said about that book, reading it cover to cover, how much transformation you can get from that. When I think about the collective of amazing catalysts that are part of this project, with Dr. Darren Stevens being part of it as well, there's 21 of us that are part of this. I know what my hourly rate is, and I know that there's some serious hourly rates that are part of this collective. For somebody to tap into the experience of 21 well-established entrepreneurs, change makers, people that really the call has cost us all. And when you think of what it's cost us, what we've learned collectively, the experience, that if one person was to say, I want coaching and mentoring from all 21 of you, but the fact that we've put it into this book so that somebody like you on your holiday can read it cover to cover and come away from it changed. Can come away from it transformed in some way. That for me is super exciting, making what we know completely accessible to so many thousands of people who would usually be investing a lot of money for an hour of our time, yet we've condensed it all. And of course, through the masterclasses as well, there's 21 of us. That's 21 masterclasses over the next 12 months. An hour each, just for somebody to look at the cost of investment, even in a book of like £10 or £15, to think of the cost of what it's going to cost you if you don't make that change. I think so often we forget about that, don't we? Like we only look at the cost in front of us. We don't look at what it's costing us in life or business.
It's changing your mindset to that cost is an investment in you.
Yeah.
And you'll get a return on that investment. And I have my little committee members, and I've got my finance director in front of me, and he's always asking me questions about return on investment. So investing in yourself is a return on investment. And that's what I love when I'm working with my clients. I work on the person as well as the business, because they go together. You're developing that person to be the leader they're born to be in their business, as well as developing their business with them as well. And it's having that, asking those empowering questions all the time. We all have our challenges in life. All of us do. And it doesn't matter how deep your valley is, there's always a empowering way up. Always. And the question to ask is, how high is that mountain?
And how willing are you to take the steps in achieving the top? I mean, that bounces really nicely into literally the part of your chapter that I was reading just now. As you move forward, remember that setbacks do not define your story. Instead, they strengthen it. No matter how deep the valley, there's always new empowering ways forward. It's so funny how you and I are so aligned. Like, I'll think something and you just say it. Literally, I had that bit in front of me and then you started talking about it. Because it can get deep. It can get really deep. When you think of the trauma that so many of us came through lockdown, and the ways that we had to completely change. I mean, there was that buzzword that went round all through lockdown, pivot. Like everybody was pivoting.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so much came out of that.
The catalysts of change were needed more than ever now, Sammy, because businesses have had their most challenging time in recent years. Their most challenging times. In the UK, we had 3.5 years of Brexit. The following month, we were in lockdown with a world pandemic. It's like you couldn't have written it, really, could you? And I was so busy during lockdown while everybody else was redesigning their gardens. I was so busy because so many businesses needed help. They had to. Some had to reinvent themselves. Some had to work differently, have different ways of working, and I helped them through that. And then, we've had high inflation. It's been a very, very trying time for businesses. However, there's always ways to thrive and to bounce back. And that's what I help people do, thrive.
And you've got some great questions in your chapter that help people to move through that process, some really good coaching questions. What I love about this book is that every single author has literally given some kind of coaching or a strategy or an activity to help the readers come through whatever it is they're coming through. Or come through it if you come up against it. Last week, as I was finalizing the chapters of the book, I had some really hard things that happened the day before the submission. And usually it was enough that it would take me out. Like, it takes me a lot to get hit and knocked down. But I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot in that one day that was happening. And and I just remember, it maybe took me 8 to 10 minutes and I was done. And I thought, wow, I'm not feeling the way I usually would when things like this happen. And I realized it was because I'd been working on all of your chapters, and you just inspired me, and the strategies that I was reading as I was going through. One of the things that hit was, a health scare from somebody very close to us.
Right.
And this health scare, I'd literally just done the interview with Stephen Leggett, who, guys and girls, you'll be hearing from him later. And something that Stephen Leggett said in his interview immediately came to mind, and I just repeated it back to this person. And they said, wow, that's really good. And it's like, well, it's not mine. It's literally the interview happened the day before. And so seriously, each and every one of you have made a profound impact on my life just in the last week, just in the way that I was able to respond rather than react.
Yeah.
And literally something that would have taken me like 2 days out easily.
Yeah.
8 to 10 minutes, and it was done, because each of you have given something that, as I've been going through it, I've been unconsciously absorbing all of this good stuff out of it. So guys and girls, those of you that are watching or listening in, I really encourage you, go get the book and buy it for someone else. Get a pay it forward copy, because you have no idea how unconsciously these changes are making a difference to others, not just yourself. And especially when you're making a change, how that ripple impacts on other people around you. I mean, Jackie, you must see this all the time when you work with a business owner or entrepreneur and their business improves. That can't not have a positive impact on their life, and vice versa. How many times is it, as a business coach, 90% of the time you're working on the stuff that they're bringing into the business? It's got nothing to do with business, but it impacts everything, doesn't it? It's like
their whole being is transformed. Their whole life is transformed. Yeah. They have much greater satisfaction. They're happier people. Their family lives improve. Everything improves. So yeah. It is such and it is equipping people with those right tools to navigate challenges in life and to inspire other people. And if what we do helps just one person, it's worth doing.
Absolutely.
And makes a difference to that person's life.
Well, let's talk about how we can make some greater change to those of you who want to come and join us for Jacqueline's workshop. So we're looking, Jackie, at your workshop being part of our Thrive in 2025 series. So we're looking at May, the end of May, for your workshop. Tell us, what can we expect? Don't give too much away, but what can we expect as a little sneaky peek when we come and join your workshop?
Well, with my Business Escalator, there's different levels where people can join the escalator. However, it's really important that business owners develop the right mindset. So I have a program which is really great these last few months, because I've really kind of challenged more of what my clients expect of me, what I expect of my clients, and mindset is 80% of success. It's 80%. So the program is the Business Mindset Reset Breakthrough, because it's when you transform the mind that you will have your breakthroughs, and it's the other side of breakthroughs is where all your success lies. And it's my passion to empower businesses with the tools and the strategies and the confidence to take their business to that next level. And success isn't about working harder, it's about thinking sharper, it's about acting smarter and aligning your business with that boldest vision. And before my clients embark on my main program, always I do the business mindset reset breakthrough with them. Always.
Awesome.
It's a program in itself which will be so transformational. Once you change your, I've had many businesses say to me, I thought I was going for business coaching, but God, she got everything out of my head that was going on in my head.
And I mean, so that program sounds like it's so vital. And like you know, we have our programs like the 7-Step Brand Kickstarter, where you don't let somebody let loose on unless they've done that thing. And it sounds like this is your version of that. Is like, once you've got that, that's the foundational piece that becomes your springboard into everything else. So are we going to get a little sneaky peek then? Are we going to do some work on the mindset in your masterclass? Because we can't do the whole thing in that one little bit of time. So what can we expect to do when we're with you for the masterclass? About 45 minutes.
It's about 45 minutes, isn't it? Well, what I will do, it's going to be an 8-step process. So I will teach you the different parts of the process. I will explain what the 8 processes are, and then I'll do some teachings from it as well, so that you can come away and start to implement them straight away in your life and in your business.
Love it. I cannot wait to thrive in 2025 with all of this juicy goodness and awesomeness that each of you are bringing. Jackie, I love you so much. I'm so pleased and delighted and honored that we get to make the change that we're making in the world. And guys and girls, I invite you to be a part of that. Come and be a part of the catalysts of change. And you just don't know where it's going to go, but you will always regret saying no to something that will grow you. And, you know, because it grows everything. So, Jackie, is there anything that you'd like to leave as a lasting inspirational comment as we wrap up?
Yeah, what I will say is I like to take the fears away from people, because all a fear is a picture that you build in your head. And therefore you attach a story to it. So it starts to become real in your head. So I like to work on that, so that instead of fear, you have focused energy. So you're taking the right actions with a huge amount of resilience. And when you start doing that, your fears go away. The focused energy, taking the right actions with a huge amount of resilience.
Big dollop of resilience.
Big dollop, right on top.
Awesome. Jackie, thank you. Thank you for making the time today. Guys and girls, if you've got any questions for Jackie, let me get her contact details up on the screen there. You can go to that web address. You'll find all of Jackie's information, and also go connect with her on all of her social platforms and everything. You'll see that I've tagged her into this session. So you can click on that and follow the breadcrumbs to go follow her and all of her other socials as well. Jackie, thank you once again. And guys and girls, we'll be back in a couple of moments with your next catalyst. So we'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much, Sammy. It's been an absolute pleasure.